we should have an outlet. If we have art or music, this becomes an outlet, and a little time every day should be devoted to it. If we are not skilled, then the study of art can become very important. The appreciation of art. Beautiful books on art are valuable. And also art carries us almost inevitably towards the recognition of the dynamics of beauty. The dynamics of beauty also tell us that attitudes are beautiful or not beautiful. Words spoken beautify or deform. Modern art is largely a matter of deformities. Modern music is a matter of deformities. But we have grown so accustomed to it that we assume that these deformities are normal. They are not. Deformity, asymmetry, discords are not ever normal. They are the natural results that arise, however, in lives that are themselves not normal. In art also we find poetry. We find all kinds of appreciations for beauty in every field. We also feel the importance of the art of living. To live graciously, to live kindly, to do everything that we can to maintain the essential, simple dignity of a human being. The moment we lose temper, we are destructive. The moment we do not transform or transmute suffering into soul power, we begin to become neurotic. Beauty is something that we must all have. A beautiful picture on the wall, sometimes. A beautiful view out of the window. And if these things are denied us, whatever beauty we can build in the intimate associations in which we exist, there's always the possibility of tuning in some good music on a radio. There are programs on art, on humanities, that do come through on some of these television stations, especially the public service stations. All these things can give us pleasure with growth. But whenever we settle down for a nice long evening of murder, we're in trouble. We are sickening ourselves. It's just as though we were slowly taking a poisonous dope. After a while, we reach a point where without a murder, the show is too slow. We demand crime. And of course, the thing that we are all self-deceived by is that we are seeing fabrications and artificial things that are conjured up for audience appeal, and are assuming that the world is like the abnormalcies we see. Certainly you may find traces of any degenerate influence somewhere in society, but to have it thrown at us day after day certainly disillusions and destroys the integrities which we must build if we want to be good people, successful people. If all else fails, get a good book. Do something that will give you inspiration instead of closing in and making you feel more and more the hopelessness and futility of personal growth. Everything should have some kind of meaning. Another very important point on this level is friendship. Now, friendship today is a very hard thing to have. Most people do not find friendship easy. They're imposed upon. Their friends are too demanding. Their friends are selfish and self-centered. And the individual finds gradually that he is hurt more than helped by contact with society. One thing to do, though, if you find this happening in your own life, take another look and make sure that you are not aggravating other people. Make sure that your own attitudes are not such that other people can't take them any longer. If you're great of nature, for the strengthening of character, for the extensions of knowledge, and through the birth and rebirth within ourselves of those elements and factors and parts which are necessary to our perfection. We have therefore gradually changed our Father's house into a place of merchandise. We have taken it and we have disfigured the entire purpose of evolution. We have failed to recognize the real reason for the gift of the sacred year. For a year is a period set aside for the growth of beings. It has something to do every year in repeating and repeating the evidence of what is necessary. The year becomes the great teacher of each person, if that person will be observant of what happens during the months of that year. He will also gradually come to recognize that the loss of the memory of the past at Cancer, when he enters the gates of oblivion, this loss is restored to him at Capricorn. And as he brings his life into perfect order, the whole pattern of his life will be revealed again. He will remember, whereas previously he forgot. Previously he forgot his divinity and remembered only the humanity that was being born in him. At Capricorn, he is no longer locked into the memory of material things, but restores his memory of the divine world from which he came. So the year is a very great symbol of things, a symbol that we all could do something about. If, however, we imagine for a moment that this whole pattern, this astrotheology, does have a meaning that is more profound than we realize, we know that it was protected in one way or another, so that the human being who was not prepared to receive it would not be likely to gain a knowledge which would damage him. But now everything has more or less changed. The old systems have gone away. There are still traces of them, and some very good older systems still function. But for the most part, people today have no consideration for the consequences of action, and they have no realization of indebtedness to the universe, a debt which must be paid by conduct. While this condition remains as it is, we have some of the great tragedies of life. At some time in the remote past, for example, science, which was in the hands of a very exclusive group, not exclusive in the sense of snobbish, but exclusive in the sense of knowing, informed, and morally incorruptible. This knowledge was placed in the keeping of persons who had already forsworn all personal advantage, who had already forsworn any action for profit that was contrary to principle, and had accepted the obligation that everything that man discovers must be brought to the altar of God. Now, as a result of this type of disagreement, discourtesy at the moment, we can take a little look at science. Here we have probably one of the most valuable instruments the world has ever been given. An instrument founded in the great triad of mathematics, astronomy, and music. Science which has developed itself in many, many ways and has given us a great number of very pleasant privileges and has made life easier for millions of people. And in this respect has gained our confidence. But we begin to notice something. We notice that the scientist has not taken the obligations that were given in the ancient mysteries. He has not forsworn fame. He has not declared that he will invent only that which will serve good. He does not permit his secrets to be carried out if he is properly informed, if they will bring damage or injury to any other living thing.
But it's certainly a diffeomorphism between the underlying manifolds. But certainly LG, any LG, is a diffeomorphism. Of N to the base G, or we say on the underlying smooth manifold G. Any algebra isomorphism is definitely diffeomorphism, but we say which was defined for covectors at point covector fields. Simply by saying we apply the pullback to every point of the manifold, we pull back the value of some covector field. Now, unfortunately, that we cannot do the same thing for the push forward of vector fields. It's important to keep this in mind, so I rather make a point out of it rather than hiding it in the formalism. So you have a manifold M and a manifold N in general. Well, here it's twice the same manifold, but that doesn't change the principle. And you have a map H between the two manifolds, right? Now H is a smooth map. H is smooth, okay, all right, but it's also it's a map. Now what is a map? A map assigns to every point here, it assigns a unique point over there. Is that right? That's a map. That's what a map does. That means every point in M has an image over here, although the image maybe doesn't fill all of N, right? That's what H does, right? But it's more than that. It also assigns to every point in M only one point over here. It doesn't take one point and takes it to 2 points. No, it doesn't do that. To every point here, it assigns 1 point here. Now for the pullback,